CO. I'm the sergeant of the Tampa Police Department Bomb Squad. And I want to thank, first off, Chief Castor and Major Teague. Where's Major Teague? Major Teague for giving us the ability to obtain this building and for their support through the entire renovation process. And we really appreciate that. Thank you. Over the past year, I've been truly humbled by everyone and all the partners and volunteers that have come out and helped this really a rundown, dilapidated firehouse turn into a beautiful building and a facility that it'll be a state-of-the-art training facility and location for us to work out of with the bomb squad. It'll be a second home for our mounted patrol, working the Ybor on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. And it's also really going to help revitalize the neighborhood, and it's going to help. Even though we do have law enforcement in the neighborhood, it's going to bring even more law enforcement into the neighborhood, and I think it's just one of the best projects I've been a part of. And again, I'm very, very humbled by everybody here that's helped out, donated, and helped paint, scrape paint, and build this up to where it is now. With that being said, I'd like to introduce our Chief, Jane Castor.
Thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. This, as he said, this was a firehouse, obviously, quite some time ago. I don't know if the number represents anything, but it was the Tampa Firehouse number 2. So I don't know if that followed number 1. That means it's really old. And we have the fire chief, Tom Forward, back here, who told me earlier that he wants the building back. And that's not going to happen. And then on behalf of Mayor Buckhorn, we have Santiago Carrata, the Chief of Staff here. Mayor Buckhorn is out of town, so quite the supporter of law enforcement and first responders. But this building was closed over a decade ago, and it has sat vacant. And anybody that lives in one of the older neighborhoods and has worked hard to revitalize it knows that there are very few things that can be worse for neighborhood revitalization than an empty building. And Major Teague, who is probably the all-time expert professional at appropriating things, saw this on the list of city properties and said, hey, what can I do about this? And we have something that we call the Citizens Academy that we put on a couple times a year, and we put citizens through a 9-week program that in essence is what police officers go through. And we had an individual that was recruited to go through that, Don Nunberger over here, and he, when he got into the Citizens Academy, Sophie Teague got a hold of him, and he is a part of 13 Ugly Men. And at this point, I'd like to say, could I have all the ugly men in the audience please stand? I'm not sure why they say that. I mean, if you see the 13 ugly men, they're not hard on the eyes, and I know that because I always say I have a face that was made for radio. But the 13 ugly men do a lot of things in the community, a lot of very, very positive. I know they have a lot of fun in their organization. They have a lot of fundraisers, and they do very, very positive things with that funding. And once Donnie was roped in by Major Teague, I think it was all over. And they, in turn, reached out to other partners. And if you haven't taken a tour of this firehouse yet, then you need to do that and just you see the before and after pictures, and it's really nothing short of amazing what's been done with this building. IKEA came in and they asked them if they could put a kitchen in, and they not only put a new kitchen into the firehouse, but you'll see the cupboards in there, the storage, they've got workstations. They just went above and beyond anything that we could have imagined. And then the building obviously needed to be painted. The officers came in and pressure washed it, and Merit Painting sent people out here, and they spent 6 weeks painting this entire facility. And when you go outside, look at the original seal on it. It's just amazing what they did with this building. And anybody that's renovated old properties, You know that you get an estimation on the renovation, and then you automatically double that, and you pray that it'll stay within those boundaries, which it rarely does. So when they started to do the renovating, and you look at the old plumbing, they found out that pieces had been taken out, and other pieces with the cast iron had just, would fall apart in their hands. So Roto-Rooter came in to fix a sink, and they basically replumbed the entire building. So we are very, very thankful for the groups that came in and were a part of this. And there are dozens of other companies and individuals that helped as well. And we couldn't do something like this without those partnerships, both in the form of our citizens and with the companies, the businesses, the corporations that step forward and do these kinds of renovations. Someone asked Jarrett what the city, as far as the dollar amount, what the city had involved in this, and he said he couldn't say dollar-wise, but it's probably less than 1%, and the rest of it was volunteer or donation. So I think that speaks a lot of, about our community and about how well we work together. Another group that I would like to recognize are some of the retirees from the Tampa Police Department. We have what I feel is the best police department in the United States, and we are a very, very close-knit family. And to see the individuals step up and do so much of this work, we have one of my old partners, Chris Kessler, which if he promises not to tell the old SAC stories, SAC squad we were on together, I'll promise not to tell either. But Chris and Laura Kessler, I know you guys were here hours on end painting the interior of the building. Bobby DePerte, one of our bomb retirees that was a supervisor of the bomb squad for years, and Robert Nicholson, both of them bomb members that have retired, and then Mike Morrow, who retired as the supervisor of our mounted unit, and he built the stalls around the back for the horses. So I thank you guys too for remaining a part of the TPD family, and that's great to see that even though people retire, that they're still here and they're still a part of the family. So it's very, very important. As I said before, we work very hard to improve the community. And we have done a great job at reducing crime, but we can't do it without the community partners. And I know Kim Hedlund is here as a representative of V.M. Ybor and a lot of the individuals that have worked tirelessly to rebuild this area here. And this is just another asset for the V.M. Ybor neighborhood. And it's already paying dividends. There's some individuals that built or bought the building next door, and they're going to turn that into an art studio. So maybe this is that ignition point. I guess that's not a good term to use with a bomb squad. Maybe I should have rethought that. But anyway, maybe this is the spark that's going to get the VM Ybor neighborhood moving in the direction that so many people have worked so hard to get it going in. So on behalf of the men and women of the Tampa Police Department and the entire city of Tampa, I can't thank everybody who was involved in this. I can't thank you enough. We certainly couldn't have done it without you, and this just shows what can be accomplished when everybody rolls up their sleeves and gets moving towards a common goal. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it, and I can't wait until they give the bomb demonstration with the robots. And please make sure that you go and check out the horse stalls in the back. And the last thing that I will say is no one, I tell my children are up here, no one is allowed to slide down the fireball. But other than that, you're free to take a look around and please enjoy yourself. And stop by here. This is going to be a great asset that's open. It's going to be 24 hours a day. There's going to be police officers in and out of here. Thank you all very much for coming today.
I'd like to introduce one of our key donors with the 13 Ugly Men, Don Nurnberger.
How you folks doing this afternoon? As you mentioned, I'm Donnie Nurnberger. I'm with the 13 Ugly Men. I'm the charity chair, and just wanted to come up and say a couple of things about the project itself. When we found out about the project here, initially I thought to myself, bomb squad, what's that about? I kind of thought really quickly that this might be a project way too important for guys like us to be involved in. After we came over, we took a look at the project, and we realized immediately that it was something that our organization as a group wanted to be involved in. After coming over, it's perfect on multiple levels. First and foremost, giving our men and women the proper tools and training facility so they can perform such an important and dangerous job is paramount above all else. Secondly, taking a neighborhood eyesore and helping to bring it back to its former glory certainly is satisfying work. This really is a terrific old building here. And lastly, but not least, the obvious benefit to the surrounding neighborhood of the Ybor community in general. It really is a great neighborhood here with a lot of history, and anytime that we can be involved in a project to help bring this area up, we're always interested in trying to help out. For those reasons, it really made it easy for the 13 Ugly Men to be involved. The community partners, businesses, big and small, and the countless hours of the volunteers bringing the project together. Even though we helped to get the ball rolling, it wouldn't be remotely possible without an entire team effort. I really want to thank IKEA. It's a big company with community values. You really helped to take it to a different level as a partner, so thank you for that. And again, Ed Repkin from Merit Coatings, the chief mentioned. Without him, he did so much with so little resources. It was really amazing. He far extended anything that we had hoped that he could do or would do. So the other citizens gave a lot of themselves to pull it together. Folks like Nicholson Branding, Mangroves Restaurant, Roto-Rooter, and so forth. So it truly was a team and community effort to bring this project together. So to the Tampa Police Department, on behalf of ourselves, it was certainly our pleasure, and thank you for that all that you do in the community. We can only say to you that we appreciate the danger and the important aspect of the job that you do, and your safety is always on our minds. Thank you.
Thank you, Donnie. Also, I'd like if Kim Hedlund could come up real quick. Kim Hedlund is with the V.M. Ybor Neighborhood Association.
Good afternoon. I'd like to say it's always great for old buildings, old historic buildings, to get rehabbed and revitalized. It's a great catalyst for further redevelopment, and it's really wonderful for the entire VM Ybor community. But this is a little extra special because it'll be used by the Tampa Police Department, and they're truly the great and probably the best neighbor we could have in this location of VM Ybor. So on behalf of the entire VM Ybor community, we'd like to thank the city and of course TPD, but probably most importantly, all the folks that put in a lot of time, effort, and significant donations to get this project completed. It's really, truly phenomenal, and on behalf of the community, we thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have Sergeant Mark Maziars and Jim Cooper come up, and they're going to talk a little bit about what we do, what equipment we utilize, and then after that, we